Okay, let's call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on. Next item is approval of the agenda. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add or alter on the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda then.
Support?
Moved and supported to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. The next item is approve the minutes for the meeting of January 10th.
I make a motion that the minutes of January 10th be approved as written.
I'll support that.
Moved and supported to approve the minutes of January 10th as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. Next item is the financial report.
We began the month with $151,564.63. And we took in, no, I'm sorry,
Whoops.
we did not. We began with $68,151.59, and we took in receipts of $151,564.63. And then we made disbursements in the amount of $23,858.70, leaving us with an ending balance in the general fund of $195,857.52.
I make a motion to receive the financial report as reported.
Support.
Moved and supported to approve the financial report as presented. Any discussion? Call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. Okay, next item on the agenda is the road commission meeting. Every winter in February, the board is invited to a meeting with the road commission where they tell you how much money they're gonna give you and how much the limestone's gonna cost and how much the chloride's gonna cost and all that good stuff. We are scheduled for March the 2nd at 3:30 at the road commission conference rooms. So this is just informational. Joe always goes, so I'm assuming he's gonna go. I don't know if the ladies wanna go. Dan usually goes, but he may have a commitment that day, so we'll do the best we can. I'm working under the assumption you guys do not wanna go on the road chore. No, no, okay, just double check, last check.
Is
Okay.
there a point to it?
You know, I guess if you wanted to see something, but it's pretty much predicated on the weather. If you get real nice weather, everything looks great, and if it rained for the last 2 weeks, everything's flooded, so.
But you learn a lot about the township from people who have lived here all your lives. It's
We
very
make those
interesting.
stories up.
Pardon?
We just make it up as we go along.
But it's good.
But it won't change the
Very
fact that we do
interesting.
the east-west roads and the north-south roads and a pattern. So,
Okay,
Go for it.
moving on, item B, pipeline dinner. Every year they have a pipeline safety dinner up in Marysville. This is your notification if you want to go. It's free, they have the number on here, you can email them and do what you want to get your reservation. And it's going to be held, where are we here?
The 23rd.
23rd.
February.
Oh, February 23rd, which is a week from Thursday.
Right.
Okay, moving on. The next item is the Metro Planning Workshop. We just got the actual workshop material since the board packets went out. It's gonna be March 30th. And they have 2 classes for sessions. One is basic training for planning commissioners and ZBA members. And the other is land division review and mapping. So we're gonna give this to all planning commission and ZBA members, see if they wanna go. I asked our zoning administrator if he would like to go because of the mapping portion. As in past years, if anyone wants to attend, we'll pay their $12
Right.
fee. So if you wanna go, let Patty know
By the 21st,
by the 21st of March.
right.
Okay, moving on. This is kind of informational, it's gonna be in the newsletter. The county landfill is raising their dumping fees by $6 a ton, starting July 1. So, I'm sure everyone will get an increase. Now, they anticipate, their numbers tell them the average house puts out a ton a year. They figure you're gonna get a $6 increase, but I have no clue as to what individual companies are gonna charge you as far as an increase. So this is just kind of informational, so if anybody sees this on TV, the increase is coming July 1. Okay, moving on, item E is marijuana workshop. As you know, there's a new law in place in Michigan this year, which kicked in January 1, but doesn't take effect till January 1 of 18. Currently, we have no ordinances, and the law says if we don't do anything, you can't have anything. It's my intent, unless the board tells me different, that we're not gonna do anything. But if anybody really wants to go, you can tell us now, because there is a fee, and the board can make a decision if they wanna pay that registration fee.
Oh, these are all the different dates, right?
You know, the one's in Richmond Township, so that's one reason I put it on there, so close.
Oh, March 7th.
So if you don't tell us, you gotta pay your own way. I'll tell you,
How much is it?
$55.
Come on,
This isn't something that,
we need.
if the county decides that they're going to approve of it, that it will,
No, the law says
Overs-
individual municipalities.
okay.
Are there any municipalities that are doing this around us?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
all the ones that already had something in place from the old law, they're just getting bombarded with people.
I'm sure.
The last New Haven meeting in the village, they had 5 attorneys there from businessmen or women that grow and do this stuff. I talked to the clerk in Lennox, because they already have an ordinance, and they're getting bombarded with stuff. They haven't bothered us because we currently don't have an ordinance. I
We
assume
don't need it.
Oh, that's
No.
wonderful.
it's close enough that if somebody has legal means, they can go get it easy enough.
Right.
So, plus you save all the headaches. You can charge each person, depending on the circumstance, up to $5,000 a year. Then you have to do inspections and a lot of paperwork, so. Okay, moving on. Old business, item A, the Meldon Drain. Work is well underway. They're trying to clear all the trees out of the drain. It's anticipated, it's scheduled to be done by October. And really, the reason I put it on here, even though I'm putting it in the newsletter, is that if you're on the Meldon Drain and your water goes to the Meldon Drain, you're gonna get a bill next December for work on the drain. So if you have a mortgage or some kind of paper on your residence that the taxes are paid out of some type of escrow, if you don't tell the mortgage company when it comes to December, you're not gonna have enough money in your escrow account to cover your tax bill. So that's the reason I put it on the agenda. Hopefully some people will find out, and it is included in the newsletter. So,
It's
and
a reminder.
Well, that's good.
it's not, you know, it's not cheap. It can range from $200-300 to several $1,000s.
Right.
Depending on how much property you own and where you're located. So, okay. Oops. Moving on. Number 3, new business. First item of business is a public hearing for the recreation plan. Our planner was scheduled to be here. Got a call late this afternoon that due to an emergency that he would not be able to come. They wanted to know if they wanted to send another representative, and I told them I didn't think it was necessary. It's pretty self-explanatory for what it is. Basically, this is like a master plan for the park.
Is this the public hearing?
I'm gonna open it in a
Oh,
minute.
okay.
Yep, I'm just kind of giving a little explanation.
Oh.
Basically, this is a master plan for our parks and recreations in Casco. We currently do not have a park, and we're working on getting one. And in order to apply for any type of grant money, you have to have a park and recreation plan that's up to date. Ours was 19 years old, it's gotta be less than 5. So we're spending the money to bring that up to date so we can apply for the grant. The first grant we'd like to try for, we have to have the stuff in by April 1st. So hopefully the board will approve this tonight. It requires a public hearing. What it is, I will open the public hearing. Anybody in attendance that wants to speak in this matter is more than welcome to do so. Tell us what you think, good, bad, and different, and we'll go from there. So at this point in time, she's gonna have to tell you the time. I'm gonna open the public hearing. If anyone would like that, you would state your name for the record, please.
7:10.
What time is it?
7:10.
Okay.
I, for one, think it'll be a good idea of what we're doing. We're gonna have.
I do too.
Waterway,
It's got some advantages.
right,
It's on the main road with
right.
so it's pretty easy to get to. It's on the river, so it's gonna have a launch for canoes and kayaks and
Kayaks.
stuff. There's no homes very close to it, so if there's any people make noise and stuff, it's not gonna inconvenience any residents. And it's got a lot of positives to it. So hopefully it'll work out. We get money every year from the county for Parks and Recreation. And except for a couple of little things we've done in the past, we haven't spent any money. And they don't like that. They want you to do something with it because, or they're not gonna give it to you anymore. So this is where we are, and we're in the process right now. You'll notice in the newsletter that we're gonna try and get a Park and Recreation Committee going of residents that know a lot more than we do about parks, and if not, they can learn and give us some input. So hopefully in a year or so, we'll apply for a grant to actually do something in the park. Right now, we're just applying for a grant to buy it and get some good ideas and get it started. So that's where we sit right now. Yes, sir.
How much money have we got in there, Parks and Recreation?
Look at the thing she just gave. She'll tell you in a second.
One moment.
We can get your name for the record, then.
That would be Wayne Bumgarner.
We have at the moment, $329,384.98.
And that money can only be used for parks and recreation. We can't put it on the roads, we can't dig ditches. It's gotta be for parks and recreation.
And how
So-
many acres is that land we're buying?
The one we're working on is 19.6 or something, almost 20 acres.
All right, let's just call it 20 acres.
So, that's where we stand right now. Any questions from anybody before we get a
Little
motion?
premature, but I was puzzled about the $1,750 for a picnic table.
Huh? Where did you see that?
Well,
It's in the cost
It
breakdown.
probably came out of one of those magazines that we get for Parks and Rec, and it's probably made of aluminum or whatever.
Magnesium,
And
platinum.
it's
actually, I'm hoping. they're
into
gonna
the
be made out of
ground,
cement,
so nobody
you
can
can't
steal it.
And these
I
are-
mean,
As you know,
sure,
that's the
it's
first
just
thing that's
goes-
gonna go.
But
Jumped
still,
out.
in traffic.
I'm sure
Yeah.
there's.
Oh,
ways.
yeah. They have
Oh, right.
$100,000 playground scapes.
Oh, I know, I've seen.
Yeah, my kids had a sandbox.
But there's nothing in the plan that says you have to do this or have to do that.
Mhm.
It just gives an outline of what you'd like to do. And,
I was just curious,
Right.
it's just an
Yeah.
odd number to find in there. I mean,
Yeah.
and also $280 a foot for a path, also kind of jumped out at me, but
But
That-
that's
I mean,
probably a 10-foot, probably
8 foot.
8 foot, not 10. But it might be blacktop, I don't know. But in the other part, it said, you know, that we had earlier, said about
Yeah, that-
limestone.
Right.
So, because if you blacktop it, now you're gonna have to scrape it, so.
And then we've made accessibility issues that dictate some of those costs actually from this thing.
But you're not obligated, you have to do anything other than, if you're gonna, especially go for grant money, you have to outline in detail what you're gonna do at that point in time,
Right. We're not there.
so. Okay, nobody has any questions, we need a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Support.
Moved and supported to close the public hearing. And the time is, what, 7:15? Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. Okay. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2017-03, which is a resolution to approve the recreation plan. And we would need a motion to adopt this resolution.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2017-03.
Support.
Moved and supported to adopt resolution 2017-03, which is approving the Casco Township Parks and Recreation Plan. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, please.
Roll call. Hang on. Dan,
Yes.
Pat, yes. Bill
Aye.
and Colleen.
Yes.
Okay, moving on, item C. Talk to the county, talk to the conservancy, talk to our planner, and we need to get this grant in by April 1. I was hoping to beg and cajole and everything to get a free one, not gonna happen. The planner said that he could do it, and he would charge us $2,500.
He's done this before?
Yes, he's currently also doing one in Clay Township, and he's done many in the past. Seems
That's
pretty-
important.
Seems pretty knowledgeable, and he is gonna run it by the DNR coordinator and the county park and recs guy. I did ask around, and they said for a grant of this type, usually 2,500 to 3,500 is right in the ballpark. So they are on the lower end of the scale, even though I couldn't cajole them into coming down a little more. But I
Which is
tried.
up first.
But I tried.
I think he said
So-
Joel.
I would recommend that we approve this agreement with Giffords Webster for the acquisition grant at a cost to the township of $2,500.
So, make a motion to, what he said,
To approve the grant.
to approve the grant.
Preparation for cost of.
The
The
agreement for
acquisition
acquisition
grant. By Gifford Webster's for $2,500.
Support.
Moved and supported. I'm not saying it again, I was doing good the first time. Any discussion on the motion or questions? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
All right, Colleen,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Pat, yes, Dan.
Yes. It's a kind of exciting thing to happen.
I know, my grandson, older grandson's gonna be so excited.
Okay, moving on. Next item is insurance premium for Nickel Saf. We currently have Nickel Saf as our insurance carrier. And due to the improvements at the hall, the insurance coverage has increased. And as the insurance coverage increases, so does the premium. The amount he's indicated in his communication is $179. And this will carry us through the rest of the contract year. So we would need a motion to approve this, please.
Make a motion to approve the increase in insurance for the building, offered by Nickel and Saf. I'm sorry,
179.
179, till the end of the term.
I'll support that.
Okay, moved and supported to approve the payment for the insurance premium increase of $179. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, call for a roll call vote.
Dan,
Yes.
me, yes, Bill
Aye.
and Colleen.
Okay, moving on. Next item is door signs for the hall and offices. The decals we had up with directional finding decals were all taken down during the construction, and we need some new ones. We did get some prices, and unfortunately, I didn't have the photo for the other door, or we're looking at 4 doors. And the decals are gonna be $50 a door. I know the last decals we bought, they weren't cheap. So it seems to be a reasonable price. Also, we're gonna, in the hall, we're gonna have a little sign by each door whose office it is. There'll be one for the clerk, one for the treasurer, one for me, and those are $12.
These
So,
are nice.
so we're looking at 4 doors, the 2 front doors. You have a picture of those, you have a picture of the office door. This door is gonna say either hall or meeting hall, and then offices with arrows pointing to the office. So we have 4 doors at $50 each, is $200. The other ones are $12, which is like $60, so if you put a limit of $300, we should be good.
I move that we authorize expenditure of $300 for signage.
Support.
Excuse me.
Moved and supported to approve $300 for door signs and office signs. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, a roll call vote, please.
Colleen? Bill? Pat,
Aye.
yes? And Dan?
Yes.
He said it didn't need a roll call.
Well, change my mind, sorry.
Who
Okay,
you start with?
Colleen?
Colleen and me. Okay, moving on, item F. Whenever we do a meeting, I always go back a month to see what's going on. And unfortunately, we only do this every 4 years. So every election, the board appoints a representative to the planning commission and the ZBA. So even though we're a little bit late, we're gonna do it tonight. Dan's chomping a bit, he's been on, how many years you been on the ZBA?
I think 2016 on the board.
I know Joe would shoot us if we took him off the planning commission.
He's good.
So we would need an appropriate motion to make those 2 appointments.
I make a motion to appoint Dan Golson as the go-between between
ZBA.
ZBA and Joe for the planning commission.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported to appoint Dan Goldstein as a representative to the planning commission and Joe Stevens as a representative, no, Dan Goldstein to the ZBA, got me thinking there. And Joe Stevens as a
Planning.
representative on the planning commission. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. Moving on. Item G, winter tax deadline.
The winter tax deadline is February the 14th, which was today, and the office was open till 5 o'clock. Somehow, that is never enough. So, the deadline is extended until February the 28th, with the caveat that the taxes must be in my office, on my desk. I do not accept postmark on bills mailed after the 14th. So, come in, put them in the drop box. You no longer have the option of the banks. They stopped for all townships today, but we will be here 9 to 3:30, Monday through Thursday, except what, we have Monday off, but the
Right.
drop box is there. So you get it in the drop box and I count it as fair. And we will continue this until the 28th of February, when the tax roll is no longer in my hands, but is sent up to St. Clair County.
But if it's mailed in before then with the postmark, we're fine. Is that true?
It has to be on my desk by the 28th.
I mean, but.
If you mail it on the 28th.
No,
No, no,
If you mail it
you can
before,
mail
so
it now.
So it has a postmark and received.
If it's on her
before
desk,
and gets
whether
on her
it's-
desk.
no matter what the
No
postmark
matter
is.
what it is.
Postmark
That's
after
what
the
I meant.
14th, she wasn't
And-
gonna
As
take.
long as you mail it in time enough to get it on your desk by
By
the
the
28th.
28th.
It can come.
And
from
the
mail.
other sad thing that people are going to realize, if they haven't already realized it,
No, put
is that
the
Casco
red one.
Township is
Change
no
it to
longer
the
able to
28th.
issue dog tags. The county has taken that privilege away from us. They're consolidating the people who handle money, I suppose. If you have a dog who needs a tag, turn over your dog, the thing that came in the mail from the county sheriff's department. It will tell you how to obtain a dog tag before the 28th of February. And I think it's $40 thereafter, so pay attention. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
That's that.
Moving on. Payment of the bills.
Are there any questions on the bills?
If there are no questions, I make a motion the bills be paid.
And I support it.
Moved and supported to pay the bills. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, a roll call vote, please.
Right, Dan,
Yes.
Pat, yes, Bill,
Aye.
and Colin.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Citizens' comments. This is the opportunity you have to comment on anything you want or ask questions of the board. We would ask that you state your name, but it's not absolutely required.
I'd just like to
Wait.
say, I think we'll try
The
going.
clock is working, you can save money, it's working.
Oh.
I saved a battery. Well, it was running before, but it's, 12
No,
over 10 hours off.
go ahead.
I just think this is great. There's a lot of really good information in it,
That's what,
and I
the newsletters,
applaud you for doing it.
your assessment.
It's work.
So you just paid your taxes. Now you're gonna get an assessment notice in the mail like you do every year, telling you how much your taxes are going up in the coming year. In that envelope is also the township newsletter. We only send it out once a year. Unfortunately, due to cost, we jam it all on one legal sheet of paper, so it's not the easiest to read. But if we use more sheets of paper, the paper costs money, and we'd have to put another stamp on the envelope. So it's golden color. Look in your envelope, hope you read it. It's got some information in there I think could help you. It tries to give you some phone numbers of who to call and what they offer, and hope everybody looks at it. Anybody else have anything?
Yep.
No? I guess we're up to adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Moved and supported to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Stand adjourned.
Oh, it's on.